Well, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to VP4TV, and we're here for another match, a round 3 match in this year's Virtual Cowboy World Championship. It's a match between Coldest Pillow from, now what the hell flag has Coldest Pillow got? Does he get the Welsh flag? I can't remember now, but anyway, his opponent is VPMonster, who all of a sudden changed his name back to his name rather than that stupid thing he had the other day. VPMonster is in the building. He's in either getting some practice in or he's in a challenge room playing 9-ball. I'm not sure where he is. A quick look. Well, he's in his own room getting a bit of practice. This is not the only match tonight. Welcome to Bill. Good afternoon. We've got 2 matches running back to back here at the same time. We have this round 3 match that is going to start at the top of the hour, but we also have a 1-loss side match between Jose and Progressive Pool. Jose's been in the lobby for quite a while. I don't know that Progressive Pool is there. Interesting thing, tomorrow we have, I think it's a round 3 match as well, between LS3 and Interchange X. The problem for LS3 is she had a bye in the first round and she got through via forfeit in the second round, so she's not played in this tournament. Problem that is she's in at the deep end against Interchange X, so that's going to be a test for her. We then also have a match on Thursday night. Tomorrow night's match is at 7:30. Thursday night at 7 PM we've got Larry and you Plonker Rodney on that 1-loss side. So those are the matches that are on schedule. Well, the way this is going to go is that VPMonster on the day should have too much going on upstairs in terms of how to play this game in comparison to Coldest Pillow. Coldest Pillow can certainly pot balls. He might actually have the advantage on the potting side of things where he might need to dig himself out of a hole. But the other component parts of the game, finding the right line, where to put that cue ball to continue your run, Monster should have the advantage. But like all games of Cowboy, you don't have to be breaking all records or setting all records to win a rack of Cowboy. You just have to stay in it, and you have to stay there or thereabouts. And if you get down to the wire with the caroms, then you've got as good a chance as anybody. So that's how Coldest Pillow has to look at it. He has to stay with VPMonster. And above all, of course, the one thing that will make the most of that is getting contributions that count. You know, 10s and 15s won't win this. 30s and 40s and keeping your points will win it, or at least give you a good chance to win it. So that should be the strategy. Don't take risks. When you've got points there, make sure you get them in the bag, and don't take a desperate risk to try and keep going. So we've seen how some players have done that. You know, just don't go over greedy, be cautious, but sometimes you've got to be brave as well. So you've got to get a good balance of both. Right, so we're top of the hour. These rooms are up. Now, quick look to see, before I do go in, they're probably going to be lagging off anyway. Jose is yet to go into his room, and the one concern is that Progressive Pool isn't anywhere to be seen yet in the lobby, so Jose might just be being made to wait, or his opponent is deciding he's had enough of it, so that remains to be seen. But certainly for the time being, no sign of Progressive Pool, so Jose will get in there and just wait until it times out if it needs to. In fact, that's what I was going to do before I went in. I was going to bring up the bracket and bring up that match just so that I could tab to it from time to time to keep an eye on the score, but we might not necessarily have to be doing that. One final check before we go in. Right, so I'm guessing Jose might have an easy path through, but you never know, he could be hanging up and hanging off. Right, let's get in. Enough chat. Welcome to Tam. And Monster won the lag and broke off. And staying below the 1. The Monster looking to make his mark on this match straight away here. Oh, he doesn't want to do that though. He didn't want that. Oh, he's dead in the water here. Now, that's a mistake, whatever way you look at it. And Coldest Pillow has got to take advantage straight away. That cue ball tucking away behind the 3. Everything was dead. There was no shot on. She's a simple force follow. But bring that 5 ball around. Again, you'll pot the 3, stay above the 3. You've got an easy 3-5. It's all simple. I mean, this is just basic, simple stuff that you do in Cowboy. When the balls are in this location, you're either going above or below. We keep repeating it and repeating it. But that's a general rule of thumb. You've just got to get yourself into that general area. Now this one here, you've got to stay left side because that's your carom shot from the 1 to the 5. So again, you want to hit it half ball. You don't want to hit it full in the face, this 5 ball. Full in the face is no good. You're killing it in the rail. So now he's going to have to play the recovery pot. And this is a save where Coldest Pillow might actually have the slight advantage in terms of having to make a recovery pot. Maybe slightly better than VPMonster for that reason. But at the end of the day, you don't want to have to be making recovery pots. Well, no sooner have I said that than I've jinxed him right off the bat. He's let me down on the pot. And the contribution is only 10. And as I said prior to the match, that ain't going to win you. You've got, I mean, that visit there, you have to be 40 odd to be a threat. Got to try to make first impressions. Coldest Pillow didn't do that. And of course, the inevitable here is he might be made to pay the price for that. Again, this is not ideal. Having to let things loose a wee bit. 3 balls sort of going dead to the rail, but with the 1 ball pot, he can, well, he's going to play the 5, but I mean, the 1 ball. See, the thing is that I would have preferred to play the 1 ball and leave the 5 to bring the 3 in play there. The 1 ball would have been in play, it would have been back in its spot. So now, Monster's got to find a way to get to that 3 ball, whether it be just getting on it for the pot or getting the carom onto it. Well, he's probably going to play it now, but he's going to be isolated doing that. I think he should have took that 3 ball first chance he had with the pot and the 1 ball would have given him a nice 5-3 to get it out into play. So now the problem is the danger here. But he's got away with it. And what you also really don't want to be doing in Cowboy is playing a carom to a ball that's near a side pocket, because you know what happens there. You bump the ball out of the way and the cue ball falls into the side pocket. But as long as you can play it at a controlled pace like that, and it's the cue ball's not running loose, then you can usually come out good. So already the run goes to 24. So I would just be bumping across to the right here. Just stun this in and draw across to the right slightly. But he's covered the one spot, which has actually done him a favour there, because he could have ended up ugly right underneath that one ball. The one ball will now spot. And now we're back to almost a conventional table when this 5 ball goes in its spot. 3 ball slightly off its spot, but all is good. Now that isn't good. I think he's gone too straight. Yeah, he's going to have to play the draw. 1 ball goes in, and now everything's almost back in shape. You know, you want to, you know, that's the thing about Cowboy. You can go in a little roll where you have to play the odd 1 or 2 recovery shots, and then you keep that rhythm going. You don't have to hang about thinking about a shot. So he's had 1 or 2 shots where he's just had to do little recoveries. So now the 5 ball's not in the best of positions. I mean, it's okay that he's good where he is in the 3, because I don't know whether that's perfect. He might be a bit thin. Yeah, he's got to be careful. And he's got the double kiss. And now the problem is the recovery shot, because now he's on a pot and nothing's sitting dead easy. Now the bank in that 3 ball looks far easier. But he's got it. And the cue ball again, you see what happens there. You hit that a wee bit harder. It could easily have gone in, but 46 and counting. And again, not good on the carom. Well, 46, and he's keeping them. And he hasn't left a really inviting table for Coldest Pillow. Coldest Pillow's got a long force follow from the 5 to the 3, and I'm surprised you're not even looking at it. He's looking to try and pot his way out of trouble. The 5-3 force follow looks pretty good to me. You know, that's a mistake there from Coldest Pillow. There's no way he should have been playing the pot there. That 5-3 was good, even though it was at distance. It was pretty well set, and he's going to pay the price for that, I think. He might not, because I think that 3 ball's fallen into line. So here's a 2-in-1 shot. And probably more like a 1 shot if he's looking to come thin off the right side of the 1 onto that 5. The middle pocket knuckle could get into the way. He's going 3-1 instead. And then, of course, there's a sucker scratch. I mean, so obvious that that can happen. And he didn't play it at a pace that the cue ball was never going to get near the pocket. It went straight in. So Coldest Pillow's been let off the hook big time there, and now VPMonster's got to be made to suffer here. Coldest Pillow needs a little contribution just to get him settled. And Monsters gave him the encouragement to do that. He's got to take advantage. Now, although we don't have that many viewers in at the moment, because some people will be at their dinner and things and watching football and stuff, but I may well know something that you guys don't know, unless you've already been told or unless it's been made aware to you. But I know something you might not know. Or you may well already have found out. But I was told first. At least that's the way I'm judging it. Yamaguchi Taro is no more in VP4. That's the news. Now, either you know that already, or that's the first time you're hearing it. Yep, Yamaguchi Taru is no more in VP4. Well, he is no more for two reasons that I discovered. No, he was. I noticed he was in the lobby this afternoon when I got home, and the other day, when I was talking about VPMonster having changed his name to something silly, and I was going to call him Turd. Obviously, VPMonster must have got to hear about it because he got his name changed back pretty sharpish. Because I was just going to call him pile of shit for the rest of the tournament. Because that was what his profile picture was, a big turd. Anyway, yes, you're right, Bill. But you noticed something else about Yama? He was asking me, how do I get my name changed? And I told him, you need to contact support, blah, 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 blah. But I noticed today, he is no longer from Japan. He's from bloody the USA. I mean, all due respect to the guy, but I mean, why did he have to take a US flag? I would have thought more about him if he'd actually changed to a Scottish flag. Anyway, more to the point, Coldest Pillow's not at the table anymore. Monster looking to get to 90. No, I don't think so. No. Because it tells you whenever people are arranging matches with him in tournaments like this, there's a huge time zone difference. Not that he's been in many of these recently. Unless he has moved. I mean, he could well have moved. So, recovery pot needed again. Now you can get really greedy here and cut that one in and try and bump the 5 out. Well, what video is that? Are you talking about editing your name? I told him you have to contact support and they'll open up your account so that you can edit your name and change it. I've yet to see this video by Vince Says, by the way. I've never seen this video yet. So the run is 33. Monster looking just to get on to 90. Also got to again manage the arithmetic here. That takes him to 84. Now he can freely cut the 5, and if he gets the extra bump, he's fine. Which he's probably going to. Oh, almost done it. But he's also still got a cut in the 1 to get to 90. But he can't because he's needing a carom now. You sent me the video. I've never seen it. I've never seen a link for a video. I've not seen nothing. Maybe Steve took it down. How would Steve took it down? If it's on Vince says, if Vince says he's got a channel on YouTube, how could Steve take his video down? Did I? Don't you remember saying that? Wait, Are you sure that was me? It wasn't somebody impersonating me? Because I don't remember any of this conversation. Steve wouldn't be any the wiser of what's going on YouTube. Well, anyway, Monster on 89. Coldest Pillow. He's a big run right now. I'm trying to remember whether it was DJ Simon or somebody that was showing me that at one time. Going in and editing their name or whatever through the HTML thing, which you can do on the external browser, can't you? You bring up the HTML thing in the, but I don't know. I haven't the foggiest idea. But I certainly never saw a video, nor remember ever been sent a link for one. The one thing I always found though is that even if you did change your name, it quickly changed back when you logged back out of VP4 and logged back in. The Monster, slowly but surely, is going to get there. Trying to bring the one back into play. This is looking good because that line in the 3 ball is finished. Well, it might be. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's just a wee bit dodgy. But you can feather edge this and brush the one. And he wants. I don't know that he wanted to hit the one as thick. I think he would have been much better to sort of hit it thin and just drop off it. But anyway, same again with this 3 ball. Try and get it back round into play and avoid a side pocket. And the Karam's run continues. He's on 96. The run is 7. Yeah, that's what he told me as well. He was saying he's wanted to change his name. So I mean, what the hell's his wife doing? Is she trolling the internet trying to find him in VP4? Well, the run ends on 97. Well, this is where. Well, that isn't wise, but it's wise the fact that the 5 balls come into the kitchen because by sheer luck, Coldest Pillow's scratched and Monster's got ball in hand but has to shoot out the kitchen. Now, he should be looking to hit the 3 and hit it. Well, he never picked any sort of line there to hit the 3. He wasn't even aiming at the damn thing. So, Monster on 1 foul, same as Coldest Pillow. Coldest Pillow's got the same problem, although he's not got ball in hand. He hasn't worked that out, I don't think. No, he hasn't worked that out. You see, that's where he doesn't know the rules. He's thinking there that you couldn't play a ball in the kitchen there, and that he's missed a trick. Because of course Monster's not going to say anything, which is quite right. That's not his problem. But you're only not allowed to shoot a ball in the kitchen from ball in hand from a scratch. Monster just missed the balls. The cue ball just finished in the kitchen, and Coldest Pillow wasn't wise to that. But he will be wise once he watches the video at the end of the match. But he now also has to be wise. This is where you have to protect the one ball. If you're in a situation where you've got some points, but you think that it's unlikely you're going to progress, then you have to do something that, you know, protects the one ball when it gets down to the wire, and we're not far off that at the moment for Monster. You've got to try and do everything that's going to let you survive. And really, the most obvious thing here is that Coldest Pillow can't leave the table here without getting to 90. It's a tall order, but that's the long and the short of it. He has to get to 90 to, you know, apply any sort of pressure and give himself any sort of chance. Because if he doesn't, this first rack's definitely gone. Well, set up for a pot and a carom. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's why he did it, yeah. But like I say, Coldest Pillow are just fixated by the fact that you can't play a ball in the kitchen, and that's what was played in his mind. But again, he wasn't switched on to the whole situation and didn't realise it wasn't a scratch. He thinks it's, you know, if you get balls in the kitchen, he's already decided that the rule is if the three balls in the kitchen and there's a foul, and the cue balls in the kitchen, you can't play a ball in the kitchen. That's the rule that's in his head, and he needs to get rid of that quick. That needs to be fixed. Well, this is it's thin off the three. Well, of course he's only played the odd game yet. He's never played any cowboy until this tournament come along. And probably won't play any more either once this tournament finishes. Or once he's out of the tournament, whatever comes first. Well, Coldest Pillow needs to get that 5 ball in play to help himself. I mean, in some ways it helps VPMonster, but I think it's pointless leaving it over a pocket. He's got to try and get there. And of course, got to get over on this left-hand side and see as much of this 3 ball as he can to make the carom. Watch the side pocket. So pot the 1, get it on its spot, come over to this left-hand side, along past the middle diamond and the bottom rail there. That's a bit too heavy. But he's got a shot. I mean, there's no panic, but he didn't have to play it as hard as that, because the more you're running the cue ball, the more likely you are to get into trouble. Which is the other reason why I had to stun that heavy to get the cue ball to hit the other ball. So now, pot the 3, stay below the 1, so you get the 1 to the 5 carom. That's the shot. That's the simple one. Just drop the 3 in and stay below the 1. Should have a shot either to that 5 or force follow up to the 3. So he's got a thin edge and he's got a big target to hit. Could have done with actually hitting that 5 a bit heavier just to get it out into play. He's on 84, so he can't lose track of the score here. And he's got another chance here, although he's got himself a bit too close to the 1. No, he's okay now. He's okay looking at it at that angle. He wants to hit this a wee bit harder though. Although he's got to be careful of where the 1 ball's going. Yeah, that was tracking more or less the side pocket. So he's now on 86. And again, stay above the 3 as we look. That will take him to 89. Now you see there he's trying to be greedy, and that's a fatal mistake. That's a fatal mistake. You've got to just mind the game and play it the right way. You've got to play the shot, stay above that 3 ball, and you've got an easy 3-5. And his eyes lit up there, trying to be heroic and get the extra point in the 1 shot, and he's going to lose the rack because of it. And there's punishment. If ever you're going to learn your lesson, Coldest Pillows learnt it right there. He could have been on 90, he could have been into the caroms, and he just blew himself out the water with 1 greedy shot. And that's what you don't do. So that's another lesson, hopefully for his sake, learned. So there you are, after 27 minutes, it's 1 rack to 0. So paying the price for being greedy. Coldest Pillow breaks off. 3 ball goes in. Nice force follow to follow that. 1 ball going in doesn't help, because that's what you don't want. Now he's got to get a recovery pot. Did I say welcome back? Did I say welcome to Matt? I can't remember whether I did. Does that get the legs? Is that getting there? Just. Well, thin off the 3, go to the long rail on the left and bump the 5, maybe off the back rail, top rail. Oh, that's unlucky. But you know, they've got to start counting. Oh, he did get it. He got a feather on it, a very thin feather on it. Another recovery pot required though. And Cowboy can be like this. In fact, more often it's like this, where you're having to struggle to make pots to keep a run going, and you can't get into decent shape. Everything becomes a struggle. Well, he played that at dead pocket weight. That's the only reason the ball fell in. But now he's not bad. Although that could have finished better. So again, he's in trouble. It's a good recovery pot. He's got a 1-3 carom that he doesn't want to slam. I don't think he can see. Oh, he can. He's got a force follow. This is a good line. And if the 5 goes over the side, well, I don't think it's getting there, so it has to go to plan B here. Because he knows that the 3 ball's spotting way up table, and he's looking at the 5. I think you could actually cut that 5 in, but you're running really loose around the table, so he's done the right thing, try to get up above the 3 somehow or other. I mean, it's still not ideal, but at least he's got a shot. You know, he can actually go off the 5 to the 1 if he wants, or the 3 to the 1. Neither of them are perfect. Now, how's the spin? It ain't there. Run ends in 22. The Monster's convincing himself this cuts in. I think it does, yeah. So that's open table. Pot's a 5, caroms a 3. And he'll have either the pot or the carom to follow, which is handy. Now, just while things are warming up in this rack, let's have a quick look. Well, we can see that, in fact, let's go in, because I don't, of course, let's have a quick look in and see how things are doing. Well, Jose is into the caroms. This is going to be too tight, is it? Yeah. So he's got a good lead, and he's well into the caroms before progressive pull. And we'll nip back across. Where are we? Is it just... Aye, it's back across that way and that way. That's handy. Just checking to see that the actual match had started. And Monster on a run of 15. Now, that'll do. Simple enough pot in the 1. Just run through the short rail. Come out above the 1 ball if he wants. Doesn't want to go right behind it though. Oh, he's fine, he can still see the 5, because that's really what he wanted to do, is see the 5, play the 5-3. Now, what was the final score in that football this afternoon? It was, I went to bed for about a couple of hours to have a nap. It was 1 each when I switched it off, between, who the hell was it playing again? It was Turkey and somebody. I don't know what the final score was though. But I don't even know who's playing tonight. I know there's only 2 games on today. Who were they playing? Turkey won 3-1. Was it Croatia? Was it Croatia? Who the hell were they playing? I can't even remember who they were playing. Oh, Georgia. Yeah. And who's playing tonight? Because that's about to start at in another 25 minutes, whoever's playing tonight. Monsters' first contribution of rack number 2 goes to 39. Now he's a bit straight on this 5 ball. That's a problem. And it's a problem because he's now got a big angle that he's got to make the line onto the carom here. Watch the cue ball. Oh, aye, Portugal's playing. Oh, that'll be a chance to see 39-year-old Ronaldo. Right, I know what we'll do. Turkey versus Georgia and Portugal versus the Czech Republic at 8 o'clock. Monster's contribution goes to 52. Watch the cue ball. That's a disaster. Oh dear. The sucker scratch again. We've saw 2 of them. Now, anybody interested in playing cowboy or thinking about it, that's the worst disaster that you can have in Cowboy, apart from the fact that you've had a run of 90 odd and that happens, but that is painful. Problem though is that Coldest Pillow's got to be good enough to take advantage of that. So that's a big run of 50 odd all down the pan. And Monster will be kicking himself because he's had the sucker scratch twice tonight already. Any time you hit that ball, if you're coming down or going up the table at that, and now that was the problem. The problem immediately was the angle he had. And what he did was he didn't want to hit it too hard to stun it into it too hard. But in actual fact, he grazed the ball just on the point that takes you in a perfect line into that bottom left-hand corner pocket. If you're in a shallower line and you're more into the table, you're comfortable at playing that nice and gentle because you're never going to scratch doing that. But when you don't have the right shape and the right line on it, then you have to get the pace into the cue ball. You have to do a bit of digging to make the angle. And, he made, Coldest Pillow made a 91, but that was bettered by you plonker Rodney the other night there. He got a 92. Yeah, Coldest Pillow said he got a 91, but as I say, Rodney got a 92 in his match, which he ended up losing, of course. He had that chance. He had Cobra on the rack, or on the ropes, as they say in the boxing. Well, Coldest Pillow has really got to take a big advantage of that mistake from VPMonster. And this is how you can cause trouble for these guys, because everybody will make mistakes in Cowboy. Some more often than others, not naming names. But you know who I am. But if you're given that opportunity, and you've seen that the favourite has just thrown a bad load of points away, you've really got to get in there, get the boot in the door, and really apply the pressure. Oh aye, that's exactly the goal. That's the golden rule, is you must be getting to the caroms before Monster, or at least you must be hot in his tail so that he doesn't get into them too far, because then, he's going to be nervous when you're in and around his backside in the caroms, because that's when you're a threat. That's when there's a danger. But you're not applying any pressure if you're sitting way back in 50 odd and you can't get there. So the priority now, of course, is that Monster's got to get rid of the deficit, because Coldest Pillow's run ends in 25, which is really not enough to be posing a major problem. Now, I know what I'd be doing here. I'd be spinning this 5-ball in and going to the rail and bumping the one out. That's what I'd be doing. Well, he's actually not bad for shape there in terms of getting above and having a shot, but again, he had to play the risky shot, and never guaranteed you're going to be sitting good in a pot. He's got a testy cut back in the 5, and again, he's got to think about where he's going with the cue ball now, because things are out of shape here big time. And he's got to get a good recovery carom to follow. And there's the problem. There's the nemesis for VPMonster is potting to stay at the table. So here's Coldest Pillow's second bite at the cherry here. Is that going to get there? Oh dear. He's cutting it very fine. And he's missed the 5, trying to get it thin. Well, the good news for Coldest Pillow there was he only had a point in the board, so he had nothing to lose. But again, that's let Monster off the hook. And you know what happens, if you let these guys off the hook often enough, they're going to stick one on you. But Monster has missed the hit in the 1. And well, I say this often enough. How many invitations to the party do you really need, Coldest Pillow? Because you really got to get your act together. Well, good evening to Chimpy. Now, you see where he's finished. He's finished too close for comfort, and he's looking for the force follow, but he's not 100% sure, but he's got it. Again, he needs a recovery pot. This is not ideal, but he's got to bring the cue ball either short behind the 5 for the 5-3. Well, that won't happen because he's missed the 3. So here we go again. VPMonster now is going to be annoyed at the fact that he lost those points, but annoyed as well that, again, his potting has let him down. So here we go for the 4th time now. And that 1 ball, as long as it sits there, your chances of getting a run are dead and buried. I think he was trying to do something to get the cue ball into that, and there's a right time and a wrong time to do it, and that was the wrong time. Unfortunately, he's finished in shape for the carom. And that 3 ball's come back across off the bump and left him a pot, so he's got something to start him off. I'm on ETSU Germany to Helsinki. I haven't been on ETS for that must be a good couple of months now since I've been near it. I keep trawling the internet to see if the updated version of the Harsh Russian map's been bootlegged. Still no sign of it. Because that's the map you want to get installed. The bootleg version of it, and then and try your truck driving on that map. Do a 600 mile real mile trip. You also want to download the Grand Utopia map as well. Get that installed. That's a standalone 1-to-1 map. It's a great little map. Oh, Coldest Pillow. He's going to be really, really hampered here. He's got to go for the bank in this 5 ball. I mean, he can go for the thin cut, but I think the bank's a lot easier than the thin cut. Yeah. Sooner or later, he'll take that advice. What's the cue ball? Well, VPMonster's chances of progressing here are not great either. This table's ugly. And he's got to take risks and start banging stuff to try and get things into play here. So the 3 balls now in the game. And that 5 ball needs to keep rolling, because he's going to have to dig out another recovery shot in this 3 ball, but he's got a choice. If he plays the 5 ball, he's coming back across the table to the 3 ball side. He's just got to get the pace decent enough. Is he good? Is he good? Oh, he's tight. He's too tight. He's going to have to go 3-1. Well, I was expecting Jose to get 1-0 up from where he was. He was already in 92 when we dropped in. And at last, all the balls are in play, which is what Monster needs. I had dropped into his room there to have a quick look. I was back looking at. I'm in no position to buy a telly. I'm just looking at tellies at the moment, because obviously the telly I've got, this the big telly downstairs, the 37-inch Panasonic that I've got, it's, oh God, how old did I say it was? I mean, it's got to be, what, 15 years old now. It might be not far off that. I'm sure I can find a receipt online in my email somewhere. But I was looking at the tellies on the Curry's website and looking at the spec and stuff. And the question I've got to ask is where are these Hisense tellies made? They must be made in China. It must be a Chinese company, this Hisense. Does anybody get any idea who they are? Because their tellies are far, far cheaper than the Samsung TVs. I know there's big differences in the screen quality and stuff, but why are the Hisense tellies so cheap? I mean, you can get a 50-odd inch Hisense telly for like 300 quid. What the hell's going on there? I know as you know, you go up in price, you'll get bigger spec. In fact, they've got 4K tellies at silly prices as well. I'm pretty convinced that this Hisense company must be Chinese as to why they're so cheap. Now that then sets you thinking at what price that Currys are buying them in at to be selling them at those sort of prices. I definitely want to get a new smart telly at some point in the future, but there's a lot of things I want that I can't get. That's the problem. Anyway, Monster's annoyed because Coldest Pillow's not only back at the table, but he's got himself into the carom. So now the vital part of this is don't get too greedy. Get sensible. It is a large. I thought that. I mean, I thought they've got to be Chinese. There's no way you can get tellies like that in this country when it can't be coming from China. Hisense Group is a Chinese multinational major appliance and electronics manufacturer. So they'll do washing machines and fridge freezers as well, probably. They'll do all the white goods, I would imagine, in Shandong province, China. Evening 2 has had. You think about it, I mean, those prices. Now, I'm trying to remember is it Sharp tellies that we're selling at the moment in the store? See, we don't do tellies as a electrical product anymore. When I first started in the store, we had tellies, we had computers, but we don't do them anymore. But they'll buy a bulk of tellies and they'll come in and they'll do them in promotion. So we've got sharp tellies. I think we had a 32, and then they had a big 55-inch thing. And they're not, but they're still dearer than these Hisense things. But I've always been a Panasonic man over the years. I mean, I've had a Panasonic telly. The last one was a Panasonic, one of the first widescreens that came out years and years ago. And then the one I've got now is a flat panel one, and it's still thicker than the tellies you get now, and I think I paid $1,000 or something for that. So Coldest pillow is in the position where you apply the pressure. Now, well, Sony. See the thing about see when I was still working in Curry's, Sony was getting a bad reputation at that time, unless they changed the manufacturing of tellies, but they weren't actually the most reliable tellies that we had on the market at the time. That's the perils of the Sony, of the bloody Wii chucking controllers about. So the run for Coldest Pillow ends on 3. He's on 94, which is in a good position at the moment. The tellies have all, well, I mean, I wouldn't say that the tellies have all come down in price since I stopped selling them, but, you know, if you're still wanting a top of the range telly, but you don't want to go to a big bloody huge panel, you know, a thing that's 50 odd inch screen, then you're still paying a lot less than what you would have for something similar in my time. These I mean, I was looking at a telly online the other day there that was like £13,000. I think it was like a 65-inch screen with all the bloody spec you could name. But as I say, when I was selling the tellies, Sony's weren't getting the best reputation. LG were actually, they were just becoming big in the stores at the time, and we were doing quite a lot of LG. Panasonic as well. Watch the cue ball. Watch the cue ball. Commentator's eye. Monster's done it again, and that is the invitation to the party. Apart from the fact that Coldest Pillow's got to play the 5-ball. And, well, you know what I'm doing off the 5-ball. No prizes for guessing, but you can easily draw to the 3, which is dangerous. But the safest way to do it is I would always draw to the rail with bottom right English so that I'm bumping the 3. Now, is he trying to draw direct? Which is a mistake. See, it looks as if he's trying to draw direct here off this 5. And this could be trouble if he gets this nailed. What's taking him so bloody long to play the shot? That's what's bugging me. Yep, well, he's lucky. He's lucky. I would have always drawn that ball and bottom right spin into the 3. The one thing I didn't like about the Samsung tellies at the time was the sound on them. The sound processor on them was shit, so you'd virtually no volume in the telly. And that's going to scratch. The Panasonic tellies always had good volume in them, which was another reason for getting a Panasonic. Well, as long as my Panasonic telly's still go, for all I watch it, as long as it's still working, that's fine. If the telly, I'll tell you something, and this is the truth. If my telly broke down tonight, all I would have is just a telly sitting in the corner, and I wouldn't be able to watch the news in the morning when I get up to go to work. That's the only thing. That's the only difference it'd make to me. I think surround sound's too much bloody clutter, to be honest with you. It's too much clutter. All I'm interested in is a telly, a picture, and decent sound. That's all I'm interested in. I don't want all the bloody balloons and whistles and things dangling off it and all of that crap. Well, this is an important visit for VPMonster. Watch the cue ball. Yeah, that one of the Hisense telly I was looking at the spec on it, and it was saying it's got a jack socket for a sound bar. But the thing is, if that's why I'm saying, if the TV's got a good sound processor in it, you don't need one of these big bloody box speakers sat in front of it. No, the thing is, they don't grass you to the TV licensing. They watch the cue ball. That's going to bump off the 5. Your details are on the records, and it's the records that get checked. The names and addresses that are taken. Monster's run goes to 23. Aye, but they've got absolutely no authority whatsoever. I mean, if any TV licensing people turn up at your door, you don't have to speak to them at all. They've got no rule of law at all. You just say cheerio. You wave them bye bye, wish them a nice day, and shut the door on them. I've watched the videos on YouTube. Well, Monster is chasing down Coldest Pillow here. That'll spin around the corner, and that's a disaster. A complete disaster, is it? It certainly is. Looking for the carom, got the pot, and he stalled his run at the wrong time here. Monster, he was breathing right down here, and no sooner have I said that than Coldest Pillows missed the carom and gave it back to him. Well, Monster now, with the pot on the 1 ball, will be on 90, and now he's the favourite. because this one ball's going to spot it. Monster's going to cross to the left so he can get the carom sorted out. But I wonder whether he'll play 1 to 3 or whether he'll play 5 onto the 1, because that's trying to keep the 1 and 3 handy, and I think that's what he's going to do. Oh, he's played that pretty nigh perfect. Although that's not finished good, he's going to have to dig out a shot here. Now he could just go straight off the rail and bank into them, but he's trying to go to the 3, I think. And there's a 1 got in the way. I think it has. Is that going to count? I can't remember what he hit. No, it is going to count. I couldn't remember what one he hit first. So we've been playing an hour and 2 minutes. And we're just sort of almost on par in terms of length of racks. And this 3 ball, if he can hit it, well, I don't know that he could hit it thin enough, because he really wants to be playing a shot where he can get a ball up around and near that 5 ball. But he's not got the shape to do that yet. And this 3 ball is in a slightly dodgy position. Now the spin has to work. Now, can he play the force follow and the 3 ball gets out of the way here? I'm not so convinced. He's going to draw to the 1. Try to bring the 3 ball back down. Now, if that just misses the 1, which it almost did, he can still work with this. And he's now got a 3-point lead. Run of 14. And of course, Coldest Pillow got to 94, and that's where he stalled. And you can't stall. Well, now there's a tricky one. This to get to 99. Oh, did he catch it? Did he catch it? Yes, he did. An even more dangerous one. Got to watch the line in that 3 ball. Yeah, this is where you don't want to make another mistake. Yeah, he was. I think he was quite right in doing that. You know, he just wanted to make sure he hit a ball there and didn't want to do anything and take that any thicker and lose the points or scratch or whatever. And Coldest Pillow has probably made his last mistake in this rack. And Monster has got an easy out for 2-0. See, that there is just about taking enough of the 1 ball that gets you the line to the pocket. You don't have to stun anything in, you just have to let it run. So Monster, after an hour and 5 minutes, gets a 2-0 lead. But he's missed the carom on the break. Now, while that's happening, let's just nip across and have a little update from Jose's win-loss side match. And again, well, now, in fact, we'll just stay with this at the moment because Jose's in a run of 31 here. He's into the caroms in 96 and he should be out. This has been an excellent performance here from Jose, although he's split them touch like a sledgehammer there, Jose. He's on a run in it now. Again, this would be painful to do all the hard work and lose all of these points. But clearly he was well behind there with Progressive Pool getting to 96. And that's a very vital run by Jose to get him right back in it. The run ends in 32, but not only that, he's set up Progressive Pool. Now he's hit that far too heavy because the 1 ball's pretty much almost got away there. I think he needed to be a wee bit more gentle with that. Now he's either going to try and just clip that edge. He's got it. He's got a good one to get to the 3 now. That'll take him to 99. Well, he's finished not. I mean, it's at distance, but at least it gives you a choice. On 99, he's got a very thin edge. He's got to go force follow. I mean, I think you've still got to take the risk of whether the one will bank, but I think he's got to go force follow. He's trying to go thin edge off this. Now, this can easily go far too high up the rail. Now he's looking at going that side to the 5. He's trying to put right English on it. This could go behind the 5 or not get there. Well, Jose, I think, might have thought that was all over, but he's been given a fairly comfortable carom to get started here. Now this is thin. And let me have a look. How would I play this? It's very thin. Got to trust your eyes. He's got it. Takes him to 99. Now he's got to get creative. Now he can bang this 5 ball and get the spin working and try and get to the short rail and spin across to that 3. I'm sure that's on. You've got to bang this and take a risk of running that ball around the table, but if you bang it and spin it, I see he's got it. He drew it direct though, but again the 5 ball running loose, but that won't matter because now he's got the outshot. That's the one time you've got to take the risk. So this is it's very thin for the outshot. You can play the force follow, but this is very thin to catch the jaw and go in. I think that's pretty good, that line. See, got it too thick. It still looked good. And the force follow isn't on. Jose's got lucky there. I don't know why he keeps looking there. There's no shot on there. He's got to look at this 1 to the 3. And I don't think he wants to put too much English in this either. I think he just wants to find a line where he's not catching the knuckle. Commentator's eye. Don't catch the knuckle. Now this position is more comfortable for Jose, but again it's got to be thin. So Jose now with a 2-0 lead, and we'll nip back across to the Monster Coldest pillow match. And not a lot between the two of them in this rack. And I'm just going to put the... Is that Portugal match on BBC, is it? Or is it on ITV? Let me check the iPlayer. No, it's on BBC. Right, let's watch live. Nine minutes into the match. Right, I've got the football on my phone. And VPMonster, well, they've obviously had more than one visit in this rack already. He's just in a run of 20. Trying to get a bump in the 3 there just to get it more out into play. And not sitting good for the continuing carom. He's going to have to, well, I mean, there's a good line off the 5 to the 1. That's going short, is it? Or did he catch any of that there? It looked close. Close but no cigar. Run ends in 25. Well, Coldest Pillow's got to think about the fact that that he had his best chance of tying this match up there in that second rack, getting into the caroms, getting to 94 and then really stalling there for far too long. Yeah, I read that Mbappe had got a smack in the face. I think he was going up for a ball, wasn't he? I think he headed the guy's head, something like that, when they were going up for a ball. Broken noses and things and bloody noses are always going to happen in this situation. You're going to get an elbow in the back of the head, an elbow in the face, or you're going to head somebody's head. Monster just, I mean, with the opportunities he's getting, you feel that there's another score in him to take this match completely away from Coldest Pillow. Well, would you believe it? All the way up the table, skims past the 3, skims past the 1, around the back and out the other side. And the run ends on 7. So once again, Coldest Pillow has a table that he really has to put something together. It's about survival instincts now. And not only that, he's killed the 1 ball and the 3 ball in the same shot. He's having to play the bank. And he's still in he's ended up reasonable shape, but that 3 ball, not great where it's sitting. So I've been watching what do you call it? I think that was the first time I've seen the final cut version of Apocalypse Now. I've got Apocalypse Now Redux when it came out in DVD. I bought that, which came out in 2001, I think it was. And I've been watching it on Film 4. I've been watching Apocalypse Now, the final cut. The final cut, I think, was in 2020, which I wasn't aware of. And I was scratching my head last night because I couldn't remember. If you've seen the film, well, good evening and good afternoon to Interchange X. Well, it's going pretty much as I sort of predicted, that Monster's got too much going on upstairs in this game for Coldest Pillow. Monster's made his mistakes though. You know, he lost a handful of points, a run of 50 odd. Yeah. Yeah, the final cut version is well. The Redux version is different from the original version. The final cut version is 2 hours and 51 minutes. I don't know that there's an awful lot more of Marlon Brando footage in it, to be honest with you, because Marlon Brando's only in it for the last half hour of the film. But there's a bit, and I do know that the scene where he goes to the boat lands at they come through the mist and the smoke, and this is before they get to Brando. And they arrive at this French mansion, and of course it's where the French guy's got his own militia that's protecting the plantation that they've got. The bit that puzzled me last night watching it, because I don't remember, I know that Captain Willard, which is of course Martin Sheen, he's sitting round the table listening to these Frenchies arguing, and then the wife is sitting across the table, and the camera keeps cutting from her to him. Well, the bit I don't understand is where the hell does she have to come into the storyline? The next thing you know, he's lying in a bed, she's pulling the curtains round, she's got her paps out, and I'm thinking, what the hell point's this got to do with the story? Is it just a case to get a pair of tits into the film? I thought, what the hell's this got to do with the story? And I thought to myself, I don't remember seeing this in the original film. Maybe I did. And I was thinking as well, Dennis Hopper been in it. I mean, there's a film. You've got Dennis Hopper, who's been in some classic films. Dennis Hopper's acted with John Wayne. Bloody Kirk Douglas, Burt Lancaster. He'd been in films as a young boy, and then he's some sort of doped up crazed photographer in this film, and he's only got a little sort of cameo part in the film as well. And then all you see of Brando is just sort of shadows. I mean, the photography in that film's amazing in Apocalypse Now. Well, as I say, I don't know the point in having her in it. I mean, absolutely no point. It's still a brilliant film. It's the tension of the film. You've never seen Apocalypse Now. Well, let's just tell you it's a slow burner. But you've got to stick with it, because the tension is all part of the story on what Captain Willard's reading in a dossier about this guy. Top man, a military man. He was headed for, the top job, but suddenly he's gone sort of crazy, but they don't know why. So it's all about the psychology of Captain Willard reading this dossier as he's trying, sailing up the jungle in this boat with a bunch of nutcases that are taking him there, and trying to get inside the head of this man, reading all his background history, painting a picture, painting an image for us. Because if you're seeing that film for the first time and you're thinking, oh, Marlon Brando's in this, when do we get to see him? Well, you've got a long bloody wait, but you've got that tension that builds up throughout the movie, and then of course you've got all the other scenes that happen in between times. I love the fact that the movie just starts. I mean, there's no opening credits, nothing. You don't know who's in the film. You don't even know that Harrison Ford's in it until suddenly, when you first see it, you think, oh Christ, there's Harrison Ford in it. And that's him. He's in it and out it in the blink of an eye. There's certain films you've got to see, and that's one that you have to see. Apocalypse Now. I always remember reading it in the newspaper at the time about when they were making the film that Martin Sheen had a coronary during the making of it. I always remember that part. That's the thing that always sticks in my mind. He took ill during the bloody filming of it. Anyway, back to business here. Coldest Pillow is still in the match at the moment, but barely by the skin of his teeth. It's all going to be decided on this visit here from VPMonster. But it's when you think about it, it's amazing how a film like that, where there are violent scenes in it on you know, during the film, but it's amazing how a film with not a lot going on in it has an awful lot of tension in it, and that's the artistry of making a film. You know, there's a film like that has all the tension built up in your head. And what the hell is this guy like? And then you've got the imagery of what happens when you get near to the place. You've got heads sticking in poles, heads lying all over the ground, bodies hanging from trees. I mean, what the hell is going on here? And then you've got all of these people who all seem to be following this guy. Is that not the one with bloody Mick Jagger in it? I don't think I've ever seen it, but a performance seems to ring a bell that Mick Jagger was in it in my head. Am I right? Because I remember weird things, I remember all sorts of weird stuff about films. The first word spoken, I don't know the first word spoken in performance, but I know the last word spoken in Apocalypse Now. It's the horror. That's always the last line of dialogue in Apocalypse Now. Yeah, I did think Jagger was in it, but I've never seen it. What the first word in Apocalypse Now, right? You're not talking about the. Well, I think the first word that if I can remember the first. I think Saigon and then shit because he's looking out the window. Aye. Because that's where he's holed up in this bloody sort of bed-sit hotel place. See, we don't really get an awful lot of insight into Captain Willard. You know, like why is he the? I think he tells us during his narration that he wasn't sure how many people he'd killed, maybe 6 or whatever. I remember him saying that in the dialogue, but you don't really get a big background, a lot of background detail about him, because obviously the background detail you're getting is all about Colonel Kurtz. But you don't know really why they've come to him. You don't know why he's lying in a hotel. He's obviously waiting in a mission. And then he gets this mission to terminate with extreme prejudice. But you know, he's Captain Willard, and that's basically all you know about him. Well, Coldest Pillow, this is Last Chance Saloon, my friend. You've got to get into the caroms, or it's hasta la vista. And above all, you've got to keep a ball in play for a pot, and this ain't it. Got to go for the bank, or the 1 ball. Well, it's all going to be a struggle. You can play the big stun from the 1 to the 5, but the cue ball's running loose. Yeah. Is he getting it? Oh, I'll tell you, he's lucky. And now it's actually finished not too bad. He's got an easy carom set up, thin cut in the 3. And now he's got to watch the scores. Oh, welcome to Blind Hog. Still nothing each the football. Well, now Coldest Pillars achieve what he set out to do in this rack, get into the caroms. But it's all a struggle because nothing's fallen into shape here at the moment. Well, the 5 ball's going to be running in a good line towards a pocket here if he hits it hard enough. He hasn't hit it hard enough to get to where it should have been going. He wanted to risk getting that 5 ball down here, but he can overcut the 5 and still go 2 rails to the 3. Well, he's gone 1. You can overcut the 5, go to the rail, come back across for the 3. You can go 2, possibly 3 rails to the back of the 3. 1, 2, that's way short, way short of the line. But at least he's not left anything set. It means that Monster's going to have a go at it. He could play the 3 rail shot from the 5 to the 3 or from the 3 to the 5. I'm surprised he isn't, by the way. But looking at it, I don't like the line of that 5 to the 3. It's too far away. Yeah, I don't like the look of it. Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen it at all. I just know the name of the film and I know that Mick Jagger was in it, but that's all I know about it. But you've got a lot of people nowadays who, if they ever hear a film, made in the 50s, I think most of you people won't even look at a film that's made in the 50s, let alone made in black and white. Because I think a lot of folk are missing out on a lot of good films. Monster has set one up here, possibly for Coldest Pillow. He's got the shot from the 1 to the 5. Big target, this 5 ball. But he's got to play this at a pace where he's trying to keep... He can't stun this to play it hard. He's got to try and keep things together. Well, that's the one with Lulu in it. Isn't it? The one where he's a teacher and Lulu is one of the pupils. Or Sydney Potter, as Grandad said in Only Fools and Horses. can't watch anything before the 90s, you've got to be kidding me on. I mean, you've not right. So you've never seen Deliverance, which is Burt Reynolds' best film, in my opinion. You've never seen Deliverance. What a classic cult movie that is. It's worth it just to see Ned Beatty getting shagged. That's what. I mean, if you don't see anything, it's worth just watching Ned Beatty getting his pants tore off and getting humped by a hillbilly. Everybody's got to see that. Or if you haven't, you've got to see it once. Wee! Wee! And Midnight Cowboy as well. Yeah. I mean, these are all movies made in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I go back further than that. Treasures of Sierra Madre, you must see it. I keep going on about that. If you've never seen that, you've got to see it. And you've also got to see the one with Sidney Poitier and what's his name, Rod Steiger, the one where he's the racist cop. You've got to see that one as well. That's another cult classic. American Werewolf in London. God. Oh dear, Brian Glover's in that. He's in the pub, I remember that. Well, suddenly we've got a match on. Coldest Pillow. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you get in the mix with the favourite guy in the Carams, you give yourself a chance. So he's got himself in the match. 2 racks to 1 down, and while he's having his 2-minute break, we'll just head over and see how Jose is doing. Well, Progressive Pool is on a run of 56, and the commentator's curse has just done him. His run ends on 56, but Jose is not far behind with a 2-0 overall lead in the match. American Werewolf in London, that's a sort of horror classic now, isn't it? It's a bit like that with what's her face in it as a nurse, Jenny Agutter. Again, that's just worth it to see her with her, you know, her doing her usual. She was always one for dropping the kecks. So in that case, if you've then seen that, then you'd need to see Walkabout. Now there's a cult classic as well, made in the early 70s, with the guy who plays the father that commits suicide, and he's actually you'll only have ever really saw him in the more famous movies, Crocodile Dundee. You'll know who I'm talking about, because that was the first role that you've ever seen him in. What do you call Wally? He plays Wally, Crocodile Dundee's sidekick, and he was the father in the film who commits suicide, and then Jenny Agutter has to take herself and the boy back to bloody normality and try to find a town. That's a weird film. It's a scary film as well. And then I think there's the Aborigine guy. I think he hangs himself, does he not? There's a lot of tragedy in that film. Well, Jose. Well, now I'm in 2 minds whether to stick with this one to see whether this is going to go to 2-1 as well, or whether to run back across, because obviously they're just starting that 4th rack. Well, Jose has given it back to Progressive Pool, who's now favourite to get to 90. So this is quite an important visit for Progressive Pool for his survival, Because you've really got to be getting into these caroms and getting that lead. Now, did he get the hit? Well, he got a hit there, but did he get the carom? No, he didn't. So Jose back at the table. The run was only 9 there for Progressive Pool. Watch the cue ball. Bye-bye. The old sucker scratch. Well, we've seen 2 or 3 of them tonight. I mean, it's got probably one of the most obvious cliches that you'll get in a film, where the two of them are hiking across the moors, and they finally stumble into this pub where everybody's, chatting away, and then suddenly everyone falls silent as soon as they stick their heads in the door, and then they've got weird conversations. Everything's weird about it. Not saying anything. They're a bit sort of distant, the people. You just know it's going to be scary after that. Talking about Brian Glover, I mean, there's another film that you need to see, Matt. You need to see Kes. I mean, that's a classic British movie. It's great even if you just watch the scene where they're playing football. Where Brian Glover thinks he's Bobby Charlton playing for Man United. All right then, let's get down to basics. You must have seen Rita and Sue and Bob too. You must have seen that, Matt. That was made in the 80s or the early 90s. Yeah. Rita and Sue and Bob too. You must have seen that. Now there's a classic. No, Brian Glover wasn't in George and Mildred. You're mixing them up with Roy Kinnear. Inventing this shite up? What the hell are you talking about? Right, so you've never seen Kes. I mean, this is, classic British cinema. You've got to watch Kes. And the song that Lulu sings has just come into my head. To Serve with Love. That's the name of the song with that film with Sidney Poitier as a teacher. To Serve with Love. Right, we're getting to the wire in this rack. Progressive Pool on 91, but Jose breathing right down his neck. Now he can be greedy here and try and go for the extra point here off this 1 onto the 3, but he's not doing it. He's playing the sensible shot. Is that the name of the film, To Serve with Love? Ah, right. You're right enough, so it is. See, it only took me sort of 10 minutes to eventually, my brain kicked in and it found in the archive that I have stored upstairs the name of the bloody song plus the movie by accident. You must have seen Scum. That was controversial at the time. You must have seen Quadrophenia. There's another cult classic film. You know, I mean, these were films made in the 70s and 80s. They're actually a bit laughable now when you see them, but that's getting back to the weird stuff, that though, Clockwork Orange. I think I've watched bits of that. I don't think I've had the patience to watch it all. And I think it's mainly because I don't like the main character in it. I've never liked him as an actor. Sometimes it's just the actor that puts you off the film, and I think that's one of them. You must have seen Straw Dogs. There's another controversial film with, what's her name? Susan George, is it? And Dustin Hoffman. Controversial film of its day. Now, what's the? I missed that there. I was too busy looking at the chat. Obviously, something happened. Well, if it did get banned, it got probably heavily edited. Yeah, the rape scene, aye. Yeah, she appeared. I can't remember the name of him, but she appeared in an American film where, and I can't remember his name. I can see an image of him, but I can never put a name to him. But I think she was sort of groomed for stardom in the States at one time, but it never happened. But she did make certainly one or two films. This one, they were in a car avoiding the police, as far as I can remember. You know, going across the States. But I have not a clue what the name of the film is, but I know she was in it. It was it was a bit like a Bonnie and Clyde type film. Something like that, but no clue to the name of the film. And I've never actually sat and watched it all. I've seen bits of it, but I could never remember his name nor the name of the film. But if you look at her filmography, it'll tell you. Oh, Jewel. Now that's one of Steven Spielberg's first films. With what's his name in it? Oh shit, what's his name? Dennis Weaver. Yeah, well, I tell you what's funny about that film. What's funny about that film is the obvious story that this is a sort of possessed truck driver. Believe it or not, I went to the cinema in the 80s to see something very similar to it, but it was called The Car. So if you Google that, you'll find there's a scary film exactly like Jewel, except it's not a petroleum truck that we're talking about. It's just a car, a sort of devil-possessed car, and it was shit. And it's never ever seen the light of day in television, that film. That's how bad it was. But I went to the cinema and paid money to watch it. But that's what it was called. Yeah, Jewel. And see, the thing about Jewel, it's all about what's going on inside Dennis Weaver's head, that film. Because, you know, there's very little dialogue in the film. He does interact with the woman in the restaurant that he goes to have a cup of tea or a drink of water or whatever and a couple of tablets. But most of the dialogue is what you hear going on inside his head. Right, well, Jose on the brink for a 3-0 win. Now I've had a drink, I'm going to have the hiccups. I went to see Pet Sematary as well. That was another film I went to see in the cinema, and again, that was a total waste of time. It was laughable. And I remember Fred Gwynne was in it. Herman Munster was in it. I remember he got killed. But I also went to see The Shining at the cinema. That was the first time I saw The Shining in the cinema. Well, game, set, and match to Jose. That's a very good win for Jose. 3-0 against Progressive Pool. I'm willing to say that probably Progressive Pool had the highest run of the match again. But yet he's still out the tournament. So Jose survives. In fact, we'll have a quick look. Jose now through to play One Pocket Slim in that survival round, and we will jump back in and we'll see that Coldest Pillow is in the mix again here at the moment, although not at the table. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw The Shining. That was, what, 1980? Was The Shining made round about that time? Went to the cinema to see that. And I'll be honest with you, I think the last film I did go to the cinema to see was Braveheart. I honestly do think that was the last time I've been in the cinema. You've never seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Matt? Oh, for God's sake. You've got to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think the main reason you've got to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is because it's not Jack Nicholson that is the main thing about it. You have to watch it because you must have seen Taxi. So you've got bloody Christopher Lloyd in it, and you've got what's his name? What's the name of the wee guy? Him that played Penguin in the Thingby movies. The two of them out of Taxi are in it. You've got the big Indian that's in the Outlaw Josie Wales. He's in it. Oh God, you've got to see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. There's a lot of funny scenes in it. So there is. Well, I mean, you want to be writing this stuff down, Matt. You want to get them onto your hit list. You haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That should be top priority. You've got to get that marked down. You've never seen Shawshank. You've got to watch it because that's a story with a twist in it. For anybody who's never seen it before, The Green Mile, you've got to see it. Shawshank wasn't successful at the box office, but it's become a cult film on DVD. There's a film you need to see also, and again, maybe not a lot of you have seen it. Brubaker. Has anybody seen Brubaker? Remember Brubaker? Now, who's Kemma Q? Who's Kemma Q? Good evening. Now, who remembers Robert Redford? Correct. That's if you're not sitting using Google and just typing in what I'm saying. Yeah, Robert Redford. But also, who's in it? Who's in Brubaker? With a little cameo role in it. The very first film you'll see him in, that you can remember, that is Morgan Freeman. He plays the nutcase who wants his cell done up, and he's got the guy by the neck, threatening to break his neck, and Robert Redford has to come in and you know, sort of calm the guy down and agree with the guy, and eventually gets out of the cell and gets him locked away. Well, that nutcase guy is Morgan Freeman. Well done, Jose. Good win. Well, it's now down to the wire here as well. So it's either going to be a 3-1 win, and this 3 balls coming up very good here. Oh, this, well, 3 balls gone very dangerous though. So he's got to be careful. He's got to try and split these and get to the back of that 3, and he hasn't. He's looking for the little double kiss. Yeah, he's got it. Not 100% back in business. And the 5 ball needs a bump. And he's got a bump. Magic round. All of these things were finished before Matt was born. He doesn't remember Zebedee and bloody Mr. What's his face? What do you call him? Christ almighty, I can't remember them now either. Dougal. And what was the name of the other silly dog? There only was one dog, wasn't there? It was Dougal. Well, this run from VPMonster is going to end this match by the look of it. And it's going to... I'll tell a lie, what the hell's happened there? Why have I suddenly seen Coldest Pillow? I'm too busy looking at the chat, that's why. Dougal. Zebedee. Florence, that's another character. What's the name of the guy with the organ grinder? Mr. What's his face? What did I call him? Mr. Rusty. I think that was his name. That was stuff that I used to watch when I got home from school, after play school, that is. Well, Coldest Pillow misses the carom. The run is 4. But is it all over? Oh, Monster was trying all sort of acrobatics here. Look at the 1 ball. Where's that going? That's no good. Well, this is where Coldest Pillow's got to weigh up the pros and cons here, because the 1 ball over that pocket's no good to him. And Monster's only a couple of shots away from getting out. Now, Monster, well, if Coldest Pillow was switched on here, he would follow the 1 in right now. Oh, sorry, he would, tell a lie, he wouldn't follow the 1, he would, what am I talking about? I'm going off the head here. I'm forgetting he's in 96. I'm thinking he was on a par there to get out. Ignore what I'm saying. This is maybe not too bad. He's got to maybe, can he cut this? Without potting it, that is. Oh, look at this for a bonus. Oh dear. And now he's going to have to bank the 5, go to the rail, bump the 1 and bump the 3 and the 1's over the pocket for the match. Well, Monster got lucky there. He can say he played it, but I think he got lucky. Without looking at Google, who did the narration for Mary Mungo and Midge? I'll tell you, Richard Baker, the former newsreader at the time. So Monster wins it by 3 racks to 1, so well done to him. And he just had too much, as I said, over and above Coldest Pillow. And of course, Coldest Pillow's first outing in Cowboy. He's done well getting to that third round, but Monster now is matched up with Tam. So that's going to be a battle. That's the bottom half of the draw. We've got Interchange X. In fact, let's look at the schedule, because we've got these 2 matches left. We've got LS3 Interchange X tomorrow night at 7:30. I'll be there for that. And we've got Larry and you Plonker Rodney on Thursday. So LS3, unfortunately for her, she is really sort of going in at the deep end here. She had a bye in the first round. Pullaholic decided he wasn't having it. LS3 got a bye there, so her first outing is against Interchange X. And I haven't really seen LS3 investing in a lot of time in practicing Cowboy, so I don't think she's all that keen. And she's going to play it by ear, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow night. And that is it, folks, for this evening. Thanks for your company. Good luck to VPMonster. Good luck to Tam once the 2 of them sort out their match. And I hope you can join us tomorrow evening for the LS3 Interchange X match. So it's half time in the football. I'm off for a coffee, and I'll catch the second half of that match with who the hell is it? Portugal and Czech Republic, I think it is. So take care. See you later, folks.